So in this session, we will discuss about three important functions in NumPy such as arrange, linspace and random. So let's see the first function, arrange function. Now this function is particularly very useful when you want to generate arrays or NumPy arrays with numerical sequences. Right? You want to have some specific rules it has to follow. So that rules we will specify in the arguments. So just to keep it simple, suppose I want to generate a sequence of values between 0 to 10. Then what do I write? np.arrange. Remember ARANGE it is. And within the arguments you have to specify you want to 0, 10. So when you give this, it will generate values from 0, but it will go up to 9. 10 will not come there. Okay. Suppose I don't want to start from 0. Then you can start from any other initial value. So give 4, 10. Then it will generate values as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically arrange function will generate NumPy arrays with numerical sequences that respond to particular rules which are given in the arguments. Now suppose instead of two arguments, so what has happened here, we have given two arguments here. First argument is telling what is the start value. Second argument will tell us the till where or the array or the sequence should extend. Suppose I give one more argument, then what does it mean? Then the third argument will represent what is the gap that has to be there between these sequence of values. So it represents the gap between the values. So when I say np.arrange 0, 12, 3, the starting value will be 0. Then it will give a gap of 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. Then 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So that it will not do that because the second value is 12. So the values can go only up to 11. It will not go up to 12. Okay, so that means the third argument will actually give the gap between the arrays. Fine. Now the third argument can also be a floating point value. So if I give a floating point value of 0.6 and the starting value is 0, the second value is 6. So what happens? First value is 0 dot. Second value is 0 plus 0.6 is 0.6. And to that you add 0.6, you get 1.2. Next you get 1.8. Next you get 2.4, 3. It will go up until the value does not exceed 6. It should not exceed 6. So it goes up to 5.4. Because to 5.4 if you add 0.6 you will get 6. That should not be displayed. Okay, so it will generate values from 0 up to 6, but 6 will not be displayed. So the third argument, remember, in arrange function will give us the gap between the values. Okay, next, coming to the next function, linspace. Okay, there's one more thing. You can also use reshape function along with arrange. So arrange with reshape, what does it do? It will tell us the dimensions as well. See this example. So I said np.arrange 0, 12. So that means it will generate sequence of values from 0 up to 12. 12 is not there. So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 11 will be there. So when I say reshape 3, 4, it will generate an array with 3 rows and 4 columns. That's all. So if you use reshape function along with this array, it will also help in specifying the dimension of that array. Otherwise it will be just one dimensional. Now there's one more function called as linspace function in NumPy. So what does it do? It is very similar to arrange, but there is one difference. See, here also we say np dot. Before we were saying arrange, now I say linspace, but it will also have 3 arguments. Now what is the difference? Same thing. The first 2 arguments have the same functionality. 0 will indicate the initial value. Second argument will indicate the end value. Now the difference comes in the third argument only. So here I said the third argument is 5. So in this case 5 means it will specify the number of elements. See, the third argument specify the number of elements that you can have in the sequence, unlike arrange. Okay, so here I said number of elements should be 5. So it will only divide the sequence from 0 to 10. It will not just type 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. No, it will equally divide the values and generate only 5 values. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 values up to 10. Even 10 will be printed here. That's one more difference. In the arrange function 10 was not printed. Okay, so the difference between linspace and arrange is the third argument. The third argument in linspace will specify the number of elements. But in arrange function, the third argument will specify the gap between the values. Okay, please remember this. The third argument in arrange function will represent the gap between the values. But the third argument in linspace function will define the number of elements. And according to that, it will only split the values. Fine. Now coming to the next function, there's one more function called as random function. Now what does it do? This is a method which is, or a function which is used to where an array will be created already with some random values. Okay, so when you use this function, it will generate an array with random values. Now there is also one more function which we call it as random function. Even you can use that. If I use random function in numpy.random module, I can generate random values in the array. That is one way. But we can also use this, right? So this function will generate an array with many elements as specified in the argument. See, this is the way I can do is when I say np.random.random, and inside that if I say 3, that means an array containing 3 elements will be created with some random initial values. It will only create an array with some random value. So each time it will be generate different value. Each time you execute this command, different random values will be there. So the numbers will vary with every one array. Now suppose I want to create multi-dimensional, that is also possible. Just specify 3 cross 3. So when I say 3 cross 3, 3 cross 3 array, 3 rows and 3 columns array will be created with random values. Okay, now let's try all these things in the terminal. Let's start with the arrange function. Okay, so let's try to create a let's try to use the arrange function ARANGE. So let me first give only starting value and end value. So now you can see that an array, so arrange function has created a sequence of values starting from 0 up to 10. Now I can also change it to, let's say, 6. I will change the initial value, so it gave like this. Now let me give a third argument. Now let's say, what does a third argument do? It will specify the size. So if I say 2, you see that 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, that's why 10 didn't get printed. Okay. Now if I say 3, only one value, because 6, 9, only 2 values again. So in arrange, the third value will indicate the gap. Now coming to linspace, the same thing. I'll just alter this to linspace. See what has happened now? The third one will actually tell how many elements you want to have. So I am generating values from 6 to 10. So what is it generating? But and one more difference is even the end value 10 will be printed here, unlike arrange. That you have to remember. So 3 values, 6, 8, 10, equally divided. So let me give another one. Let's say 3 here. See again. Okay, this is arrange function. Now the same thing, I'll make it into linspace, so you can see the difference. Okay, so the same arguments I have tried to change. Okay, see the difference between arrange and linspace. In arrange, the starting value will be 0, the end value 10 will not be printed, and the space of 3 is given. 0 plus 3, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, like that it will do the calculation. But in linspace, what it will do, 0 will be the starting value, even 10 can get printed. But what does a 3 mean? I want only 3 elements, that's the meaning. So what it has done, 0, 5, 10, equally divided. That's how it works. Now let's see the next function, that is a random function. np.random. Let me say I want to create an array with just one dimensional. See, I have a one dimensional array with 3 elements, random values. See, every time you type, different values will be there. See, the same function but different values, because every time random function will generate random values. Now the same thing, let me create a 3 cross 5 array. Okay, there's a mistake here. I have to give an extra parenthesis. See, so a 3 cross 5 array got printed with random values. So random function, what it does is it creates an array. You can even specify the size, and every time random values will be specified. So that's it. So in this session, to quickly revise, we discussed just 3 functions in NumPy, that is arrange function, linspace and random. We saw what was the difference between arrange and linspace. In the next session, we will discuss about basic math operations in NumPy, like arithmetic addition, increment, decrement, matrix product, and ufunc, and that is universal function and aggregate function. Thank you.